Hello everybody, welcome to Game Day, where once a week I basically play whatever I feel like playing. And today we are going to play a little bit of Open RCT 2, which is a freeware mod slash remake, I guess, of Rollercoaster Tycoon 2, and as you can see by my loading of the Forest Frontiers scenario, also the first Rollercoaster Tycoon game as well. So, I wanted to do Forest Frontiers just because this is probably the level I spent the most time with as a kid. And if you're not familiar with Rollercoaster Tycoon, it's essentially a management sim. Um, your ostensible goal is to, you got a little objective here. Let's see. Have at least 250 guests in your park at the end of October. Yeah. And you got a thing down here called park rating, which is basically how much people like your park. Obviously, there's money involved. It's a whole slew of things. The real goal, obviously, at least for me, is to just try and make a park that's sort of, how would I want to put it? I guess visually pleasing, to be a little bit weird about it. Like, I don't know, part of the appeal of this game and things like SimCity also is just, I kind of like watching things just sort of go. And I think getting the Roller Coaster Tycoon Park to the point where it is self-sustainable is really the interesting bit about this game. And along the way, you get to design all kinds of weird coasters. Like, I mean, you got here, start out with 2 types, eventually get a bunch more. A little railroad thing. So, even if you're not super familiar with the game, hopefully you can enjoy something in this video. If you are super familiar with the game, you probably get a little bit frustrated because before a couple days ago, that's right, you can't build on pause. We'll unpause in a second then. Before a few days ago, I had not played Roller Coaster Tycoon in about a decade. I used to play it a lot during middle school. But middle school was a long time ago for yours truly. So, no, pardon me. Still getting over that cold from last week. So, do pardon if I make any silly mistakes. So the last time I did Forest Frontiers, which it was only a few days ago, was the first scenario I played after getting the game reinstalled. I made a wooden coaster, so this time I think I'm going to start out with a one of the junior coasters. I don't know why I removed that tree if I'm going to put the thing back here. Anyway, a piece of advice I was given on the Roller Coaster Tycoon subreddit, actually, in the context of a screenshot that I posted of one of my other parks, was basically the guests are very stupid and don't know what to do if you have a park with a lot of dead-end paths. So I'm trying to kind of get the path laid out in anticipation of where I'm going to put the ride. This is just going to be like a pretty simple, loop and drop coaster. You don't want to make anything too complicated for your first one, or at least that is my hunch. Again, I'm not really an expert at this game. And I don't know, I've always really liked you just kind of make the, oh, that was stupid of me. Make the curve a bit bigger, maybe, and then I guess that is right on top of the other part of the track, isn't it? Alright, we'll change how we're doing this then. I completely lost my train of thought. If you watch a lot of my videos, you know that that happens to me quite often. Not the most collected individual in the world. Oh, is this going to be a problem here? Are we going to be able to make this loop back around? We might have to shorten the station a little bit, which would suck. Yeah, I don't know. Just like this weird go up and then a weird loopy drop. Hopefully that does not have, like, more G-forces than an astronaut training program, because that tends to be what happens when things go wrong when I make a coaster, is I accidentally make it, like, far, far too intense. I actually have the day-night cycle on right now, which is an option they added in our OpenRCT2. And I'm actually going to turn it off just because I find it a little bit distracting. Where is that anyway? Is that in here? Here it is, cycle day night. That's not really a problem for me when I'm like just kind of playing by myself, but if I'm playing and talking at the same time, it's a little bit of an issue. I do know, by the way, that making your queues as long as possible is not best practice, but to a degree, I kind of can't help myself, you know. And it's not that long. I mean, you know, it's just like one little bend there. Let's get this thing. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Let's get this thing tested real quick, and then we'll try to come up with a name for it. I'm going to tell you right now that I'm terrible at naming these things. Oh, well, we managed to fit 3 trains on that station. If people end up liking this, we'll be able to get pretty high guest turnover, I think. Although that's something I'm still kind of sussing out. I'll listen to the rumble of the coasters. You know, when I used to play this as a kid, I was a small child and really cared more about designing weird roller coasters than I did about actually, like, doing the scenarios correctly, so, you know, I'm hoping that I can learn to play the game a bit more efficiently, or closer to how it was meant to be played. Also, I just realized my whole plan for this part of the thing was gonna, like, oh, I'll build a path around the coaster. Also, yeah, intensity rating ultra extreme. So we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this one. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. It is just basically a single long drop, isn't it? Jeez. We're gonna have to basically redesign this whole thing from scratch, aren't we? Well, that's okay. You know. I don't actually mind too much because, you know, making mistakes and redesigning your rides from scratch is part of what makes Rollercoaster Tycoon what it is. I was playing the desert scenario that comes after this yesterday, and I managed to mess up a coaster about 4 or 5 times before I finally got it running in a way that the guests didn't think would make them vomit. So, you know, again, that's part of what makes the game what it is. Now, I don't like that I had to shorten the station so much, but maybe that's kind of a blessing in disguise, because now we can actually build the path around the coaster like I had originally planned. And if we have to restart here in the beginning of the thing, I don't really mind too much. The real key to games like this, I find, in things like, you know, this SimCity, or sort of a different direction, something like Crusader Kings, is just patience. You gotta kind of figure out what makes the game tick and then work from there. I'm hoping this design's a little bit more friendly. Although, I don't know, that's some wicked speed pickup at the end there. I apologize if I, like, use any wrong terminology or make terminology up out of thin air. But, I actually don't know very much about real roller coasters. Yeah, we're getting the ultra extreme rating again, which is not anything in red. You don't want anything in red. Maybe it's or rather, maybe it's not so much the helix that's doing it, but rather these, like, winding drops at the end here. So maybe if I, let's see here, oops, rotate this, like, like so I can actually see what I'm freaking doing. So maybe instead of having it curve, I could just have it drop straight down, and then it can kind of curve at the end a little bit, and we can, oops, needs to go down like one more tick. There we go. And that'll draw it into the station. I might as well make these station platforms if I'm gonna do that. Let's try testing this one out. Am I conscious of the fact that I'm using up most of my money before we've even opened the park? Yes, yes I am. I do wonder if the turn being banked has something to do with it. There's a whole like yeah, like formula for these. Well, they're not there right now, but for these excitement ratings. You want to get your excitement high, but the intensity can only be so high before it starts to put people off the ride. Let's see here. As I take a sip of my Kool-Aid. Off-brand Kool-Aid. That's still way too high. Alright. Welcome to PJ Doesn't Know How to Build Roller Coasters. Once again, I think we're gonna have to go in for a fairly substantial redesign here, because clearly what I'm trying to pull off just isn't working. Maybe like just a more gentle spin down like that, and then we do like some little humps. My humps, my humps. My lovely coaster lumps. I'm sorry for subjecting you all to that. But, you know. Terrible jokes are the lifeblood of the medium. I do want to leave one free space over here so we can build this path, like, around the coaster at some point in the future. If we deign that necessary. Alright. Damon dash that necessary. Let's see. New ride / attraction now available. The Ferris wheel. Every time I've built a Ferris wheel in this game, it ends up being a huge money sink. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or if they just suck. See, that looked like a lot of speed to me, too. If this one doesn't work, I might just scrap this particular iteration of the park and we can start over. Again. You know. It's part of the trial and error process. Okay. See, this one is very high, but not ultra extreme, which is the thing you want to avoid. So I think we can finally open our roller coaster and subsequently open the park. $2, that seems like a fine price to start at. What to call it? That's always the big question. Why don't I think about that while I pop down some food stands? Put like a restroom right here at the outside of the coaster, just in case somebody loses their lunch. The first time I did this park after I downloaded OpenRTC, I made everything like candy themed. I don't know if we're gonna have that kind of thematic coherence this time. See, this is what people mean about the guest being dumb. The guy walks into the exit, even though there is quite plainly nothing there but an exit building. What's this fellow thinking? Not thirsty, I'm not hungry, I'm not going on Junior Roller Coaster #1 while it's raining. It could use a catchier name. What are these again? They're called Ladybird trains. Although we could use, I think you cannot change that unless it's closed. That's fine. Ah, you know what we can do? We can make it, like, black and yellow and pretend these are bumblebees. Even though they don't really look anything like bumblebees at all. But, you know, that's a secret that can be kept between yourself and me. Let's see here. Flight of the Bumblebee. I'm tempted to make it, like, bang out classical music while it goes. Is there anything, like, operatic we can get over here? No. Actually, I do kind of like that. I'll leave that on for now, and if it gets annoying, I'll turn it off. Narrator's note, they always get annoying eventually. I'm gonna make one of these scrambled egg whatsits because the people go crazy for these. I don't know why. To me, they look, like, deeply boring. But, you know. So, yeah, alright. We got, like, a little core part of our park going here. We should hire a handyman and a mechanic real quick. It's better to have these guys before you need them than to wait and end up not having them when you need them later on. New ride. I read that already. Where's the finance report thing? Yeah, we lost money both these last 2 months because we weren't open yet. Weekly profit. It peaked and is now going down. That's not the greatest. I'll be honest with you, much like in a game like Crusader Kings, I don't always fully understand what I'm looking at when it comes to the graphs. But hey buddy, you want to clean this puke up? It's literally the only reason you're here. Thank you. We don't have any gardens, so I'm gonna uncheck that on his to-do list. But I think we have a nice little core here with Flight of the Bumblebee and this thing. And all the food shops. I've heard it's actually better to space the food shops out, but we don't really have the path space for that yet. What else? Could build like a railroad. I think all these designs that are just like a U and then a series of numbers are ones that like came with OpenRCT. I don't think these were in the original game. I might build a railroad. I don't know if it's a great idea to do that now though. I kind of just want to see if we are looking sustainable. I mean, we haven't lost money yet since I started paying attention to the thing here. What's this say? Profit, negative $87 per week. Okay, well that's not the best. I guess we should try to toss up something cheap. People like the slide and they like the haunted house. Can I fit a haunted house over here? I totally can. Just put it like right there. Boom. Spooky something. Spooky. Cabin in the Woods. That's a movie people. That's a movie people like, right? Never seen it, but people do like it, I think. This is going okay. I think it would probably be doing a little bit better if it wasn't quite so intense, but I think I've demonstrated by now that I don't actually understand what makes a roller coaster intense or not. Our approval rating does appear to be going up. That's good. Are they getting a lot of, like, this is really good value thoughts? Really good value, really good value. Okay, that means we can charge more for it and they won't, like, stop going on it entirely. I'm gonna bump that up to 250 and see how we do. If people stop using it entirely, obviously we'll knock it back down to 2 or like 220 or something. Yeah, this blank space here is bothering me. Why don't we put something in here? Bunch of trees. We'll put up like a sign for the roller coaster. Make it black and yellow like a Wiz Khalifa song. Here we go. Flight of the... Flight of the... why don't we change this to just say, like... Bumblebee or something. There we go. That's a little bit better. Actually, you know what I could do is I could make, you can't move these signs, though, can you? Also, accidentally panned, like, halfway across the map. No. Alright, so I'll have to delete that one and put it back. I can make one say Flight of the, and then put Bumblebee on the sign next to it. Yes, I know my park's losing money. What do you mean I have mixed up priorities? You know what I can do that's even better is I can make this one black on yellow and the other one yellow on black. There you go. Give people a little bit extra bang for their buck. There we go. Now we're making money on a weekly basis. Only $32, but it's something. I really do want to fill in, like, this here and this here before we start expanding behind the roller coaster. And I also keep panning way, way, way too far out. If you're a viewer, by the way, I might do a few weeks of this. I don't quite know yet. I know myself, and I'm not going to have the patience to do, like, the entire Rollercoaster Tycoon campaign. But I might do, like, a couple episodes of this for game day. Or maybe even just, like, open, like, a mini Let's Play. I don't know. I'll think about it. But, if you are a viewer and you have a name suggestion for a ride, or you want your name on one of the guests or something, just let me know in the comments. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. This is what I mean. I like watching these little things just, like, kind of go. Look, good lord, hold on. Pardon me, I'm going to go clear my throat on the other side of the room, where it won't sound like someone is dying on the other side of the microphone. Goodness gracious, well, if that ain't what you're subscribed for, why are you here? I might edit that out, but I think more likely I will probably forget to edit it out, so there will be this weird flow-breaking bump in the middle of the video. I've had decent success with these things, too, so maybe pop one of these down. New attraction now available, a log flume. We might get on that. As our first, like, behind the coaster expansion. That could be the name of it too, behind the coaster. Why don't we make this like blue and blue and red? There we go. I don't know, what's a good name? I've never actually seen one of these things in real life. I'm kind of the opinion that they might not exist. These weird, like, lighthouse-looking slide structures. the ramp. See, my last two parks, I did Forest Frontiers once and then forgot to save after I completed it, which made me feel like a genius. And then I did the desert one, and both of those times I had a theme going on. This one I kind of don't have a theme yet. I might never have a theme. Because theming things kind of takes a little while, and, you know. We need to devote this video to important subjects, like me damn near vomiting on camera. On microphone. You know what I mean. I also didn't actually almost vomit. You know what I'm getting at. Not appropriate subject matter for the Let's Play anyway. Cancel the whole thing. It's going back to the drawing board. I'm joking, of course. You know what bees definitely love is flowers. So why don't we put some... Oh. Can't construct this here 3D sign in the way. That's affixed to the wall. Oh, this game. Well, whatever. Now we got a nice row of flowers there. We're making money, I think. Are we making money? No, we're actually losing almost $300 per week now. Did putting the slide down really change that much? I guess we'll give it a bit. I don't know if this is like, one of those situations where you kind of can't always trust the numbers being displayed. Well, now it says we're making 110 per week. I don't know. Where is my handyman? Sweeping footpath. Okay. I was about to yell at him for not cleaning up that splicker of vomit, but he got to it. You may ask me what a splicker is, to which the answer of which is I don't actually know. I think I might have just made that word up. See, I'm kind of the opinion, and it may actually just be incorrect, and if that's the case, feel free to let me know. But I'm kind of the opinion that putting a lot of these, like, simple, cheap rides near the front of the park kind of ensures that everyone will see them and everyone has a chance to ride them. Actually, hold on, I think I can make this queue do one of these. Yeah, there we go. So we don't have a weird, ugly gap in the middle. Yeah, alright. I'm pretty satisfied with this little micro... I shouldn't say micro park, that actually is like a thing that has like a precise meaning. This little mini park we've got going on at the front here. Now, what I do need to be conscious of is I'm going to need to eventually split paths off, and, actually, why don't I just start doing that now? Let's see. I want to run one behind the roller coaster over here, and then one over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to not connect it to the main part of the path yet, so that way guests won't wander over here and get lost. Because that is what they will do if I don't do this in this particular way. Let's see. The advice I was given was that all of your paths should make a loop. So I'm gonna, like, bring it around. Oops. I was also given the advice never make a path that is 2 tiles wide, because guests will literally get lost by walking in circles. Which is funny, but also bad for the bottom line. There we go. I can kind of see where that's going to connect in. There. That way, when we want to expand over here, we've got the infrastructure already in place. Alright. So it's June, and we need to have our goal met by October. At least 250 guests in the park. We're almost there already, and park rating of 600, which we've already accomplished that. So we're well on our way to getting what we need to get done. How are we doing profit-wise? $56 per week. Again, we could definitely be doing better, but like I'm not super concerned about it. I do have game speed options up here. I can put it real fast if I want to. Watch this. I think that's funny for a good quick chuckle. I wish you could make it play like I don't know the name of it, but there's that classical piece that goes doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. I wish you could make it play that whenever you hit the turbo button. In my experience, you really only play that if you're waiting for something to get done. I'm gonna hire a security guard because it's better to have one and not need it than to not have one and end up needing one. You know what I mean? That's wisdom from somewhere. Gonna pop down some more benches over here. And some trash cans as well. Everybody loves throwing things away. That's my scathing indictment of consumer culture. Oh, they're building the information kiosk. I guess we can pop that in the corner right here. Those things are good because they let you sell everybody cute umbrellas, which you can color coordinate with the colors of your park. We don't have any green rides yet. The next thing we build, we should try to see if we can make it green. I don't know, do we want to do a log flume or do we want to do a miniature railroad? They're about the same price. I haven't done a mini railroad since I started the game back up, so maybe I'll do that. In fact, I bet I could even build the station, like, here? Although, no, we'd run into logistical problems pretty quickly there, wouldn't we? I'd have to put it over here, I guess. That's okay. We can save this space in here for, like, smaller rides. Like, the flat stuff. I think these are called flat rides, this whole category of, like, just stuff you plunk down and it just kind of works. Sorry, I was just checking something. Oh. I keep panning way off too far to the directions. I kind of wish there was a way to, like, turn the panning sensitivity down, but probably asking for too much for what is a free mod remake thing of a, like, 20-year-old game. Almost 20 years old. I think the original Rollercoaster Tycoon came out in 1999. Don't quote me on that, though. I might be very wrong about that. See, I just like walking, like watching little people like walk back to and fro. And we have met our 250 guest quota. So unless we start bleeding guests for some reason, either literally or figuratively, we should be good. Like, to meet our deadline. So with that in mind, I'm going to start getting to work on this railroad. Because I want to. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, why don't I save the game? It does occasionally crash. Not very often. Oh yeah, the information kiosk. I should pop that down real quick. Pop that like a French Montana song. Is that like... No, that's on ground level, okay. For a minute there, I thought that was like above the ground, like it was just hovering in the air. Would be pretty odd, but, you know, occasionally bugs do happen in this game and in games in general. So where do we want to start building our railroad? I'm thinking we can, like, have it start here. Maybe we could have it cross over the walkway. I think that's a thing that the peeps, which is what the little guys are usually called. I think that's a thing that they like. Is when rides like cross over other rides and pathways and all that good stuff. So let's build a nice long station here. And let's get this going. Just checking real quick to see if there were any interesting special parts. Mostly just the you know, the station and then the S-band, which most of these have. So yeah, this will kind of like take you around the park a little bit, I guess. I say I guess as though I'm not the one building it, even though I very much am. You can like kind of see all this stuff from above. I like doing things like this in Rollercoaster Tycoon, just making the ground level of the park literally impossible to see for myself, because I like building things over other rides. It's a personal problem, to be quite honest with you. But, you know. Can I make this duck under here? I don't think I can. Maybe, like, over here. But then I would have to raise it again, and that's just kind of pointless, isn't it? That's alright. We'll, get started with bringing it back down to ground level. And then I think we should just be able to... no, we don't have quite enough room. Alright, well that puts a... Oh wait, no we do, never mind. And then I can just like S-bend this in, right? S-bend to the left. There we go. Hack. Check that out. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Just check to make sure the train doesn't, like, crash or anything. I can't imagine that it would, but, you know. Miniature steam trains consisting of a replica steam locomotive and tender pulling open wooden carriages. Excitement factor plus 3%. What a strange thing to say about trains. Well, look at that. It actually chugs along pretty nicely, doesn't it? I do want to make these green, because like I said, we don't have anything that's green yet. I like the saturated green a little bit better, I think. Hey porter, do you know the time? How much longer will it be till we cross that Mason-Dixon line? And look at that, it goes right in for a nice, smooth finish. I sound like I'm describing a beer, but no, I am actually just talking about My Little Locomotive, the spin-off of My Little Pony that you've never heard of. I do want to move this so I can get like a little bit of a... I have an inkling that this will be popular, I might be wrong. Medium, low, low. That's about right for a locomotive. I have an inkling that this might be popular. I might be wrong, but I'm going to move the exit over one, and then do one of these again with the queue, just in case. And what should I call this? I'm trying to think of something that I know, something foresty that also alliterates with railroads. Redwood Railway. There we go. That almost sounds real. It's like 2% too whimsical to be real. Alright, and then I will just pop down a path here, and one over here. Although... we'll have stuff to fill this back in eventually. I was gonna say, like... I don't know how much I want my guests walking over this part yet, but it'll be fine. Put down some benches. I'm sorry if I'm bothering anyone's OCD by not placing these evenly, but I honestly just kind of can't be bothered. Be here all day. There we go. And we're gonna need a new handyman. Maybe even two would probably not be a bad idea. So, let's hire you. You're gonna go over here, and this will be your turf. Just this, like, this bend of the path. And you are gonna go over here. And consequently, this will be your turf. Over here. Lovely. And then the first guy, we can say, alright, now you can just worry about this central area around the flight of the bumblebee. Good stuff. People do seem to like it. They're lining up. And we're making cash. Pardon me, folks. I'm going to need to go get some water real quick. Like I said... Oh, that's weird. Even when you pause it, the chugging sound from the train plays out. Anyway, like I said, even though I'm kind of getting over this cold, it's still also sort of kicking my rear end. So, I'll be right back. Hopefully I remember to edit that part out. Something like that, right? Delicious, room temperature, vaguely zinc tasting Carbon County water. I can't complain. Hopefully I remember to edit that part out, but, well, I think you guys know me better than that by now. If laziness doesn't win out, I'll just forget. Let's see here. Yeah, like, we're doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy. Oh, we're about to get a thunderstorm. So, do we have these at a reasonable price? We do. Okay. I've heard that you can basically charge whatever for umbrellas while it's raining and people will buy them, but even in a video game, I can't quite bring myself to be that scummy. Park ranking's going well, guests are going well. There, look at all the green umbrellas. The fun thing to do, I'm actually gonna, like, start putting more concession stands and such over here. But, which I was reminded of because a fun thing to do is to make all of the kiosks sell different colored umbrellas. So that way you can see where people bought them from. Look, I'm easily amused, okay? Don't get on my case. This is so pointless, but having accidentally turned the underground view on. But having the drink shack underneath the railway is 100% worth it. Don't lie to me, okay? Anybody watching this would definitely get drinks at a drink shack under a railroad. I know that I would. That would be frickin' sick. Probably. Probably gonna hold off on placing new things now for a little bit because we're getting a little bit low on money, but profit minus 4,000 per week. I think that's because we put this stuff down. I hope that's because we put this stuff down. It's a little hard to tell. I think I've already said this like a dozen times, but I'm pretty happy with what we've got going on here. I'm gonna put a big tree right here, I think. Let me see. What's the biggest tree you got? What about this one? This looks pretty big. Maybe that one? Not that one. That's too small. Ooh! I don't even know what this is, but I like the look of it. Yeah, I'm gonna pop you, like, right here. There we go. Look at that. Now that is what I call aesthetic. Handyman, there's puke on the pavement. Where is this motherfucker? These guys are so lazy. What are you doing? Do you get lost in the bumblebee queue? Clean that up, please. Thank you. Ooh, the looping roller coaster. I believe that is the steel coaster. Yeah, it's this thing. Alright, well, I would like to build one, but we're approaching the end of the game, and we don't really have the money. That's a little annoying. Oh well, hopefully I'll get to show those off at some later date. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure we just kind of wait until the month rolls over, because I don't think there's really any danger of us losing any of our stuff, you know? I'm pretty sure we've definitely got over 250 guests, and I don't think our park rating's going down anytime soon. People are loving Forest Frontiers. I really just like how this front area here looks. Like it's all jam-packed with stuff. You know what? I can't... Oh, the pirate ship is broken down. Do we got our mechanic on it? Flight of the Bumblebee is really good value. It's too crowded here. I can't really do anything about that, you know? Too crowded here. Really good value. People still think that this is, like, really good value. Maybe we can start charging a little bit more for it. Bump it up to $3, see what people think there. I'm actually a little surprised at how straightforward this was. I remember when I was a kid, even the first level, this one here, I could just never get it to happen. And I think that's because as a child I was more bent on trying to make really weird looking roller coasters than anything else. But even with the problems we had at the start of the episode, I mean, like, people are loving the Flight of the Bumblebee, and I'm very happy about that. And the railroad, too, of course. I should put something over here, maybe. Make this, like, a little bit more scenic. Mine shaft? Bunch of, like, mine theming, I guess, if you're up into that kind of thing. Monterey cypress tree. Sure, why not? We'll, like, line the, what do you call it? The station with them. There you go, look at that. We're eco-friendly. What are you talking about? We planted 5 trees this year. It's actually 8 trees. I can't count. If there is one feature that I wish they would add in the remake, this mod thing. By the way, if you're interested in getting OpenRCT 2, it's very simple. You can just Google it, and I'll link to it in the description as well. However, there is a caveat, whatever, which is that you need the original game files of Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. I have them on a series of CDs I bought from a clear-out sale at a library. But I believe they are on Steam, and probably GOG too. So, they're out there. It's not too hard to find them nowadays. In fact, the other day, somebody was giving away a copy on the subreddit, but that'll have been almost a week ago by the time this video goes up. I do apologize for sort of running out of things to talk about, but I just kind of like watching my little mans go about their day. Oh yeah, and I also completely didn't finish my train of thought from earlier. If there's one feature I wish they would add, it's the ability to zoom in a little bit more. Like, I know the game's not really made for it, so it would kind of just be like a mesh of pixels, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind it either way. You just kind of like go in here and look at what these two are doing. Fraser F and Imran J. They seem to be having a bit of a intimate moment here on the couch. Not the couch, the bench. Could we be witnessing the blossoming of a romance in this very park? Let me help you out a little bit, Mr. Fraser. Put down, yeah. Everybody loves getting rained on while they're being kissed. That's a scientific fact. There you go. You're welcome. That is my gift to you as the benevolent omni-god of the park. Could you imagine, like, how many generations are we removed from this being how things are actually built? Just like, the CEO has some kind of freaking, like, jacked-in cyber world constructor thing that they just pop things down with their hands. We live in a cyberpunk dystopia. Anyway, this game is pretty great, even after all these years. This has really held up extremely well, honestly. Like, I've played a tiny bit of Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. I didn't really like the switch to 3D. And I've been told that Rollercoaster Tycoon World is, like, actually awful. And, you know, there's Planet Coaster. Not really my style 100%, but, you know, I've been told that it's good. Fraser left, but Imran is still there. Oh no, I wonder if they broke up. Kelsey P. This person is very hungry. You're literally sitting right across from a burger shop. Just go get some food. Anything new we can build? I always like building the fry shacks, but they don't tend to bring in very much money in my experience. What a lovely little place we've got going here. You could take your kids here. Probably. Actually, I always thought it was kind of weird how like nobody in this game has any visible tertiary gender characteristics or indeed any visible age. Oh, go and fix that. Yeah, okay. The train got stuck on the tracks. But, you know, This was the 90s. They didn't care about that kind of thing back then. Ooh, is this a boy or a girl? Who knows? Who cares? They're a walking dollar sign to us. You know. You'll have to forgive me for getting a little bit goofy here. But I do want to see this through to the proper end. I could speed it up, but then we get... and it's kind of just, you know... It's a little bit annoying. At least I think it is. We could probably pop something else down now. What do we got here? Put down a carousel, like over here or something? That should work out fine, I think. Yeah. There you go. Killing time. Because that's what I'm doing right now. Not that I'm complaining. I mean that sincerely and genuinely not complaining. It's just, you know. It's a little funny, is all. Oh, I forgot to open this. That would probably help, right? Good lord, no. I always forget how annoying the music on the merry-go-round is. I find that true with real merry-go-rounds, too. I think they have... that little organ ditty that they always seem to all play is, like, one of my least favorite pieces of music that exists. Maybe I just have no sense of fun. I don't know. We eagerly approach the end of the level here. Oh, hey. I always like building the observation tower, and furthermore, I like building them up extremely high. So we're gonna do that. That'll be the last ride we build before the end of this episode. Look at it go. Can I just... Jesus, that's tall. You never really remember until you actually make one how big those things are. Just call it perspective. See yourselves as I see you, fragile, small creatures. Maybe red. And now it kind of looks like a peppermint. Like red and blue? Red and yellow. Red and pink. Actually, we haven't done anything but pink so far. We'll make this whole thing pink. Goodness, that's gaudy. You can probably see that from, like, the next town over. Just this massive frickin' monolith erected to the color pink in the amusement park. I don't know where these people got their red umbrellas from. Maybe they bought them at one of the other kiosks before I switched the colors of the umbrellas. They got limited editions. Yeah, we're definitely good. And this is the last day of October. There we go. Achieved your objective with a company value of $39,393. And immediately we are in debt. I'm not sure what's up about that. Yeah, I can just make it PJ to make it consistent with my other save. Alright. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Game Day. And a long one, too, at almost an hour long. That makes up for there not being one last week, I think. Actually, it's going to be almost exactly an hour long. Let's see if I can pad the video out by another 30 seconds or so. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. If you let me know in the comments if you got any constructive feedback regarding either Rollercoaster Tycoon specifically, or the direction of my channel, whatever is on your mind. Links in the description as always to follow me on social media. and that kind of thing. Yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.